Hey Tony, how you doing, man? Good.
Cliff, it's good to meet you. How are you?
I'm doing all right, thank you.
I don't think there's enough coffee in the world to get up this early, but we'll try.
I might as well just stay up all night. The way I see it.
Well, first of all, congratulations on a new season of Finding Bigfoot, now on Discovery Plus. Um, are we ever going to find Bigfoot? There's my first question. Is he out there?
Are they out there? Yeah, absolutely. See, that's the whole thing. They are, in fact, a real species. Whereas scientific acceptance of the species depends on somebody killing one and bringing one in for dissection. That has not happened. And I have mixed feelings about that. I'd like them to be discovered, so to speak, and therefore protected. But at the same time, it's kind of a gruesome way to have to go about it. But yeah, since they are real, certainly a very frightened hunter will pull the trigger someday, or some truck will run one over. They are real. Yeah. And that's kind of our role, is to educate the public on it before that happens.
Well, the best case scenario would be, to find one that died of natural causes in the forest. I mean, we find squirrels and deer that way as well.
Well, kind of. You find prey animals that way, but you don't find apex predators that way. You do not find like naturally dead bear carcasses. You do not find naturally dead cougar carcasses. These animals choose where they die because they just think they're sick. And then, of course, their body is eaten and basically recycled by the forest in short order.
Now, you've been on the track of Bigfoot for a long time. When you started, there was certainly a lot of misconceptions, a lot of conspiracy stuff going on, and you personally have had to cipher through that.
Well, yeah, sure. I mean, there's a lot of misconceptions about the species, and it's because it often gets grouped into other areas of the unknown, ghosts and UFOs and whatever else. It's crystal skulls. I mean, who knows? But then again, over the last 20 years, even 30 years, the anthropology has been turned on its head in a lot of ways. And the study of paleoanthropology, the study of human ancestors and their fossils, has really been shaken up, because we thought that all these other human ancestors were so long ago in the past. And now we know that just simply isn't the case. Our ancestors and the offshoots of our family line were around much more recently than a lot of people realize. Even until the 1990s, this was the case. But since the 1990s, that's been all changed around. And now we have this idea that it's peculiar that we are the only hominin standing. It's very strange. This is the only time in the last 6 million years that only one species of hominin was on the planet at the same time. I don't think that's the case. I think that there are others running around, because I don't think now is as special as we think.
Yeah, it does kind of go against logic, and and the fact that we share this planet and we share a lot of land. People don't realize how much barren open land there really is on this planet.
Yeah, and even here in North America, even the United States. And I think that the two of the main reasons that Sasquatches are still shrouded in mystery, shall we say, not proven, is that number one, people underestimate them. They think they're dumb animals, or something like that, which is ridiculous. But probably the more important reason is that we overestimate ourselves.
Yeah. We're arrogant as human beings, and we think, well, we're the dominant species. But we've been taught so many different lessons over the last 20 years of, we're just part of a big, planet.
Yeah. I've heard actually from scientists that these are not real because they cannot be real. So what kind of attitude is that? How dare you say that as a scientist? You should know better, right? That's just me, though. And I'm not a professional scientist, but I'm here to heckle them if they say dumb things like that.
In our final moments that we have together, what captured you, about the Bigfoot myth and legends?
Well, when I was in college, I actually stumbled across a book that was a compilation of journal articles written by scientists on the subject. And that's when I went from oh my gosh, Sasquatches, of course, I love the idea and they're quirky and funny and everything else. But like when I started reading about the actual evidence, it spun my head. I said, oh my God, these things are probably real. And then I was already camping and backpacking. So I just kind of put that on the list of things to do out in the woods. And, then I started talking to witnesses, and I eventually saw one in 2011. And it's just now I'm just drowning in the subject, kind of singing the songs of the one true church, so to speak. Bigfoots are in fact real. Oh my gosh, what a fantastic world we live in.
There's been so many sightings and so many people, and we're not talking about those kind of backwoods sightings. These are professional lawyers, doctors, that have actually, witnessed something out there.
Absolutely. That's one of the intriguing things about the sightings database, because the sightings are kind of soft evidence, because you have to depend on how good an observer they are, and it's kind of subjective in some ways. But what you get out of it is where they happen. And also, it doesn't matter by whom. Yeah, the people who do live out in the backwoods, as you say, they do see Sasquatches, but so do PhDs, so do psychologists, so do police officers, so do military people. But what you get is that the sightings happen where there's suitable habitat. So either people who live in the forests and mountains are better liars than people who don't, or we're talking about a real animal. And I mean, we're talking about a real animal is what it comes down to. It's not a demographic phenomenon. It's a geographic phenomenon.
Well, what you've got here is an exciting and really well-produced show. Kudos to your staff and your crew hunting down these stories and showing us these step-by-step. It's a procedure show, basically.
It is. It's part procedure show. It's part travel show. It's part look at these weirdos doing something I'd like to do myself show. It's a lot of different things. And I think that's part of the intrigue of not only the subject, but also the show itself. Finding Bigfoot, and particularly the new episode, Finding Bigfoot, The Search Continues, is just, it's a good production about four people giving it their honest best. We don't fake anything at all. That's really us out there doing real Bigfoot research, whether you think they're real or not. And really, if you don't think they're real, it's because you haven't been exposed to the evidence. And I get it, but it's a really fun trip. So come on along on our Bigfoot expedition with us. It's a blast.
It's on Discovery Plus, and we'll all be watching. And again, congratulations on this. I think this marks almost 10 years you've been doing a show or similar shows to this.
Oh, yeah. And I think we filmed the pilot, if I remember right, in June 2010. So, yeah, this is 10 or 11. I mean, who knows, man? My sense of time is rather elastic, I admit. But at the same time, it's been a heck of a ride. And what a way to spend my life. I sure appreciate the opportunity to do this,
Cliff, it's a pleasure. And come out to Salt Lake and we'll go hunting out here. Right? There's a few sightings here in Utah.
Oh, we've done a couple expeditions in Utah. And that's the great thing about Discovery Plus. You can go back and watch all the episodes, including the Utah ones.
Yeah. Well, congratulations again. And it's great talking to you.
Thank you so much for having me on. Keep it squatchy, okay?
Keep it squatchy. Bye-bye.